Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. For this YouTube channel, I'm gonna go ahead and first start by saying thank you so much for watching my YouTube live streams. This live stream is going to be covering an experience with a covert narcissist. Now, covert narcissists often present themselves as innocent, childlike, insecure, very introverted, shy, humble, and as a very genuine person. So, this is how covert narcissists present themselves as. Covert narcissists are also referred to as vulnerable narcissists or closet narcissists. So these type of narcissists in the DSM-5 are more difficult to spot because their abuse is very insidious compared to an overt narcissist. An overt narcissist is more extroverted, is very aggressive in the manner of attaining narcissistic supply, and has a lot more energy, and it's more type of an overt narcissist. They tend to show off a lot and be extroverted, so they're very easy to spot. But on contrary, a covert narcissists are more difficult to spot than an overt narcissist. So a covert narcissist presents themselves in a manner as being harmless. So you'll never be able to actually see that person as a predator type personality. So in the DSM-5, narcissists are known to have a grandiose sense of self, very entitled, manipulative, and deceiving. What else? They lack empathy, and they tend to also be very black and white thinking. So for this video, I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys my encounterment with a covert narcissist. Now, mind you, I was raised by a covert narcissist for most of my life, all till childhood, till adulthood, till my early 20s. And then from there, I was able to find an escaping that toxic household. So this other experience that I had of a covert narcissist, since I already had experience with covert narcissists, it was easy for me to spot narcissists because during my healing process, experiencing narcissistic abuse syndrome, which is a syndrome that a lot of narcissistic survivors experience, and they do their research. They spent all day or countless amounts of hours just reading about narcissism, watching videos. I watched a lot of Dr. Ramani. She makes really good videos on narcissism and other narcissistic YouTubers on YouTube to educate myself, and I was just absorbing all that information as I was absorbing and intaking and processing all the information that I was learning online and on YouTube of narcissism. I was just preparing myself and understanding my experience as a child, since you're not going to get closure from any type of narcissist in your life. When you experience narcissistic abuse, you tend to never get closure, and that's because there's no such thing as closure with them, because they don't end a relationship with you. No matter what, you always will belong to them. They see you as their narcissistic supply, and they'll keep you in the haram, which is a narcissistic supply closet that they store all their old narcissistic supply sources and victims in that place, where if they lose someone, then they go back and they need to find another supply source. And so I experienced that and I did all my research, broke the trauma bonds, and was recovering from all that. No matter what, you still become a narcissistic magnet when you've been raised by narcissists or you had a narcissistic parent growing up. So, anyone in the group chat, have you guys ever experienced narcissistic abuse, or understand what a narcissist is? I would like to interact with my YouTube stream live supporters. And so I recovered from that, and um, as a student, I was I was placed with a covert narcissist. Now, this experience, I was very oblivious. I was still trying to um hello, I didn't get the message, it didn't go through. Hi, you look lovely when you smile. Thank you. Um thank you. so So prior to all that narcissistic abuse, I was still recovering. It's a long process. I think it's a never-ending process because you always rediscover as you continue to heal throughout your journey. You continue to learn certain things that you kept in your Pandora box, in your subconscious mind, that you've suppressed in order to survive, in order to what's it called? In order to not be harmed. So the PTSD was very real. Not PTSD, I had complex post traumatic stress disorder, so CPTSD. And I still go through that every once in a while. Sometimes I'll just get triggered very easily, or it's the PTSD. And excuse me. So I'm gonna start from the beginning to the end, so you guys can understand how covert narcissists operate and what it's like to actually live with a covert narcissist. Actually, experience the type of abuse. So I'm gonna get started. So what ended up happening was, um, the covert narcissist moved in with me, and she presented herself as very innocent, childlike, humble, and introverted, as a very kind person. And so I was naive and too trusting. The first day, um, she was trying to convince me, telling me I'm a good person, or I'm a really good person, you know. My friends think I'm a really good person, and they say I'm a good person. So that was already a red flag for me in my mind. I was thinking, why is she trying to convince me that she's a good person? You know, good people won't try to push it onto you that they're a good person. They're just going to show you that they're a good person. So that was something that I was kind of questioning. She was telling me I'm a good person, and a lot of other people think I'm a good person. So the other people validating that she was a good person, was for me to believe that she was actually a good person. So once that happened, the love bombing, the love bombing stage where overly nice, overly attentive, being really nice, and just asking if she can help me out with anything, if she can take the trash out for me. So this type of behavior is known as, it can be a manipulative way to hold strings attached to certain favors that narcissists do for you. Trauma bonding is a trip. I never knew narcissists were a thing, but my god, this is an eye-opener. I have never been played on this level before. Yes, Kelly. Narcissists are a whole nother type of psychological abuse and spiritual warfare as well, because you're really dealing with another um demonic spirit within a narcissist in the spiritual realm. My mom is a narcissist. What type of narcissist, if you don't mind me asking? Covert, overt, malignant, communal narcissists, or there's even covert malignant narcissists, and those are very dangerous because they're covert and malignant, which is they're very sadistic, and then they're narcissists. Um, I don't know. Oh, was she like introverted or like really extroverted? Because if she was really extroverted, that would make her an overt narcissist. If she was more shy and more to herself, then I think that would be a covert narcissist. So, so the first day she was telling me, more shy, covert narcissist. Mm-hmm. So, the first time she was trying to convince me, I'm a good person. And she kept repeating herself, I'm really a good person, you know. My friends say I'm a good person. And I was like, okay. And as soon as we started talking, is narcissism hereditary? Narcissism can be a generational curse depending on if one person was raised by a narcissistic parent and they have certain children. Not every children turns out to be a narcissist, but there can be times where one of those children ends up being a narcissist because they were raised by a narcissist. Or it can also be the fact that they had a very traumatizing childhood, or they were overly spoiled as a child to the point where that makes them entitled and they believe that the world revolves around them. So they grow up with that type of mentality and they stay emotionally stunted in adult bodies. So it all has to do with being severely traumatized. So both of my narcissistic parents, they had very severe traumatizing upbringings. And now that I see it, I can see how the past generations, there was a lot of generational trauma. Traumatic childhood creates sociopaths. Yeah, sociopaths. Ooh. Psychopaths. I've encountered so far 2 psychopaths, and they're reckless. They have no fear. They don't care if you know that they're a psychopath. Psychopaths don't have any shame. They're not shameful. They don't feel guilty. They're very reckless. When they want something, they go after it and they don't care who gets hurt. But a narcissist, so a psychopath is a narcissist, but a narcissist is not a psychopath. A narcissist, they carry a lot of shame, and they're very self-loathing onto themselves when they because of the shame that they carry. So they constantly have a monologue in their brain, constantly just beating them down. And that's why they inflict so much abuse onto other people because they have a lot of inner hatred. They're very, they're very insecure. They have a very fragile ego, which means they have to protect their ego. Oh, at all costs. But the facade that they wear, that is meant to protect them from their ego. So that's why they have to carry 2 personas, 2 personalities. One is created through gathering other personalities from each narcissistic supply each person that they have a narcissistic supply. They pick up certain traits, certain body languages, certain things about their other former survivors. Don't ask me how I know that. Oh, I had a traumatic childhood and I'm an empath. Same, yes. I had a traumatic childhood as well, and I turned out to be an empath, but with complex PTSD. So I have CPTSD. Some fold under pressure, some turn into diamonds and become harder. It all depends on their personality types and how they react to trauma. See, a lot of people react differently to certain traumatic events, depending on how vulnerable their brains are and how susceptible are they able to recover. from that traumatic experiences that they go through. Some full. Oh, these streams keep coming. Narcs and gaslights don't stop. So why should you, I guess, lol. This is just for awareness. Um, it's just to spread awareness, and anyone healing through this type of abuse, if they find this video, or if they need to remind themselves of the experience that they experienced, so they don't self-gaslight themselves. There's a lot of people who experience this certain levels of abuse, they gaslight themselves and they feel like they're responsible, or they feel like they went wrong somewhere. So these videos help anyone who doubts themselves or questions their experience, and has still that trauma bond that they're still trying to heal from. Like certain times the victims that experience, they're not survivors, narcissistic survivors that overcome this experience. um, they can either be in cognitive dissonance for a long time. Oh yes, they'll do that. That's just because of projection. So they project onto you to take the focus off of themselves. So anytime you try to hold a narcissist accountable, or try to fix a problem, or like a normal healthy person will, trying to resolve an issue, they won't own up to their mistakes. Instead, they'll blame shift you, or twist your words around, and you'll end up feeling responsible for their actions. Darvel tactic. Hi, okay. My parent, narc's mother, and covert. My ex-best friend, cousin is a narc. My ex-girl, 15 years, is a narc. My whole damn ex-family is a narc. Wow. Yes. I've had a encounter with a lot of narcissists, but that's a lot of narcissists that you know. It's a narcissistic tactic, Darvel. So yeah, I know how to read them. Very good nowadays. Yes, it's like you don't need to take a course on narcissism, or go take a psychology class, because you've already experienced it. So it's easy to spot them once you know, because they all follow the same pattern. They all do the same exact manipulative tactics and games, and they all do the same exact thing. So you're always dealing with the same demon, the narcissist. So, where was I? Okay, so yeah, the beginning was a lot of love bombing. I'm a good person, and you should believe me because other people think this. So after that, she offered a gift. Would you like anything from Starbucks? And me being naive, I was like, yeah, why not? Accepting, like, okay, I guess, she's being really nice. I guess I'll take the gift. And so she bought me Starbucks. And, this is a red flag. I wasn't even aware that the gift giving comes with strings attached. So they're never doing something for you because it's coming from a genuine place from their heart, and because they really want to make you feel good about yourself. It has to do all about them. So they'll give their target a gift in order to feel like that person is in debt to them, or owes them a lot in return for the rest of the relationship. Do you ever feel like a narcissist was trying to break your... Yes. The golden child can appear outwardly to be successful in worldly affairs, but is very shallow within and has little insight and introspection. Some of them. Yes. Example. Experienced it on a crazy high level, unfortunately, but fortunately, thank you for helping me get this off my chest. Yes, so when I was leaving the Covert Narcissist, my mother, um, it was actually my breaking point. I was already exhausted. She used me like I look like a skeleton. That's how that's how bad the abuse was. I was so skinny. Certain narcissists will even deprive you from eating. They'll empty the refrigerator so you don't have food to eat, and they control everything. Narcissists are very controlling. So so I was under control of food intake, and I wasn't eating well. So I became very skinny. And yeah, so I should make a story about 20 years living with a covert narcissist, because that one can be that one's gonna be a lot of information for you guys. It's gonna be rich in experience. So okay, I'm not gonna get distracted anymore. I'm gonna get to the point so I can get the story across now. So okay, I'm gonna start from the beginning to the end. So the first time, she moved in, love bombing began. I'm a good person. My friends say I'm a good person. Let me buy you something from Starbucks. Okay, that's fine. Buy me something. And then um, as the days passed by, she started sharing a sob story with me. A sob story about how she was traumatized, how bad her childhood was, playing on my empathy, on my emotions. And me being empathetic, I was like, oh, I'm sorry you went through that. And that must be difficult. And just sharing, her sad stories. And so I really felt bad. But I started to become aware that the sob story was going to be the way to manipulate me throughout the um, whole entire time being with her. So the whole childhood, they come up with a sob story to make you feel bad for them, to play on your empathy, because they know that they can manipulate you. They're con artists. They can manipulate and deceive your heart. So they go straight at it through your heart. So that was the sob story, and me being open as well. I started to share with her that I had experience with narcissists, and telling her all my trauma as well. I opened up just because she opened up, so I decided, okay, I'm gonna open up as well and share my trauma. I started to share, I was raised by narcissists and I'm going through this, and then she said, yeah, my I also knew a narcissist. But me not knowing that at the whole time I was talking to a narcissist, I was so unaware. So after that conversation, telling her about my experience of narcissists, that was after that. Trying to remember more, cause yeah. So there was that part. After that experience, I caught her staring at me a lot. So staring at me a lot, like not just I'm just gonna stare at you, glare at you, and then that's it. No, but like an intense type of stare, like this. And I was just on my phone certain times, and she would just stare at me, and I would get very uncomfortable. But she was trying to get my attention. Other times, I was even doing my work, just working on an assignment for my class, and I can feel that someone's staring at me. And I turn around and she's like this, just staring. So we have to understand narcissists, they stare at their narcissistic supply very intensely because they need narcissistic supply. They need attention, they need validation, they need you to admire them, to look at them, and to constantly just pay attention to them because they're desperate. They're desperate for attention. So, yeah, I started doing that, and there was times when I was talking to my friends on the phone as well. She would be very interested in what my friends were saying and the type of topics that me and my friends were talking about. And so she was gathering information. She was just, absorbing all the information that she could take away from me, but for a reason. So she was just constantly absorbing, seeing what kind of personal, vulnerable information can I extract to use against. And she started to. We would have certain conversations every now and then, but very shallow conversations. And the conversations were mostly about her asking me questions and her not really talking much about herself. So narcissists won't reveal too much about themselves because they hide themselves, but they do ask certain questions to find out about other people. So, um, she started just talking about people like, oh, this other person that lives near us is this way. Just trash talking other people that I knew, and then trash talking her best friend and revealing to me personal information about her best friend to me. And I was like, wow, that's not okay. But what really caught me off guard was the competition that was taking place. So at first she was complimenting me and saying, wow, you have a lot of stuff, or wow, like you must get a lot of attention and this and that. So she started to give me like an evil eye, an envious stare, and I felt this tension, and I felt like her energy was just hostile, like anger, but I couldn't, it wasn't outward anger, it was inward anger. Like you can still feel the hostility, the anger within her. And I felt that type of anger. And so there was competition constantly. Like look at my shoes. Covert narcissists are very competitive and they love validation. So look at my shoes, or look at what I just bought, or look at all this stuff that I have. And I was just like, oh, okay, that's nice, that's good. But what caught me off guard also was the fact that she would ask me, "How do I look? Do I look okay? Do you think I should wear this or that?" So covert narcissists are very they don't really know what they want, so they always ask people to make decisions for them because deep down they're very uncertain about what they want. My phone's acting up again. So, so what ended up happening, there was that competition, and I don't like competing with anyone. I'm gonna keep that right now off the bat. I don't compete with anyone. I don't care. If other people are doing good, I'm happy for them. But there's no competition in this life. I don't get in anyone's lane, but she was getting in my lane and competing with me and just trying to make me feel inferior to her. So the covert narcissist can feel superior to me. So there is a lot of chronic envy going on. Covert narcissists are very envious of people. It can be they're envious of just the way you look. It can be they're envious of your relationships with others. They're envious of, let's say, their kids, other people's kids. They're always comparing their lives to other people, and they're constantly feeling like people are envious of them, and that that people are envious of them, and they're very envious of other people. So Yes, it's a game. Well, that was taking place, but okay, aside from that, I tried setting boundaries and I said, we can both make sure that we're both putting in the work to keep this place clean and just stuff like that. But I noticed that there was constantly a boundary. Um, she was always crossing my boundaries, even though I would set them in place. And this disregarding what I had told her that I don't appreciate her dismissing my boundary that I stated very clear through communication. And so I noticed it became a pattern, constantly disregarding boundaries, constantly doing exactly what I said not to do. So with covert narcissists, you don't pay attention to what they don't do for you, but you pay attention. No, you don't pay attention what they do for you, but not what they don't for you. If that makes sense. So they won't do a lot for you, but they'll say a lot with their words as well. So, oh, if you ever need anything, I'm here, or I'm gonna share with you I'm gonna share with you if you want any of my snacks or anything. But at the end of the day, they end up not even doing what they said they're gonna do for you. So it's a lot of future faking. But yeah, they'll keep you guessing, confusion. So what what made me realize that I was dealing with a covert narcissist was the beginning. It was way too good to be true. I was telling my friend, like, oh, she's really nice and I think we're going to be really good friends. But as the time passed by after the sob story, then came the little disregarding my boundaries, the competition. What else? The narcissistic stare, just staring at me, very long. It was very uncomfortable and I felt like I was walking on eggshells because I felt her anger. It was just this very strong emotion that I was picking up. Um, Not only that, my ex did the future faking. It leads you astray. Yes. Mhm. So not only that, but what there was another thing that I noticed. Oh, every time I would tell her, again, like, hey, I thought I said that this is my boundary. Instead of her owning up and taking accountability for the boundary that I stated, she would bring in her mom, who traumatized her, instead of taking accountability for what she had done. So, covert narcissists will always play the victim when you try to tell them that they did something wrong, and they're gonna blame someone else who's not even in the picture, who's not even there, and they'll just bring in another. They'll blame someone that's not even present in that situation so they don't have to take responsibility. So each time I would try to say, like, oh, this wasn't okay. It's because I was so abused as a child and you don't understand. I had it so hard and that's why. And then I ended up feeling bad and I ended up apologizing each time I wanted to um, create a resolution. And I felt, why am I always feeling guilty every time I want to bring something up that is making me uncomfortable and it's causing me to feel abused? So that was going on. And I was just wondering, am I being dramatic? But every time, yes, their words never match. Actions, yes. Um, but what mostly gave me the sign was the fact that one time I was just dancing in my dorm. She was completing some laundry. She came back in to start folding. And as I was just having a really good day, it was a really good day. And I was just enjoying, life. And I feel this very nasty energy coming off towards her. And I pick up on it and I turn around and I look. and she's giving me these black eyes, like with a lot of hate, and just staring at me like this, like, psh. And I turn around and I go like this, like, whoa, like, I got scared. I was like, what was that? Why? Like, why is she looking at me like that? In my head, I didn't say anything. And I just, I didn't say anything after that day. But she would ghost me a lot every time I try to resolve an issue. She ended up ghosting me. So she would leave for a couple of days and then return back and then pretend as if nothing had happened. And there was certain also subtle abuse tactics that she would do to get under my skin. So the first one was always crossing the boundaries. The second one was I said I don't have a car. I told her I don't have a car and I don't have a lot of money. She would play certain songs, subtle, like subtle abuse. This is why covert narcissism is so hard to explain, because the abuse is under the radar. It doesn't sound like it's abuse, but the person experiencing it, they know what's going on. They know that they're trying to instigate a reaction out of them. So she would play certain music like "You don't have no money, let's just be honest." And while she was listening to the song, she was facing the mirror and she would look at me like this, like just look at me with a smirk, with a narcissistic smirk on her face, not a smile, a smirk. And her eyes were like this. And I was just trying to ignore her. But each time it was repetitive. The next day, she would listen to that same exact song over again and then stare at me. The next day, the next day again, the same song, and then try to stare at me until I was just starting to get just tired of it. And I confronted her about it. I confronted her about the time that I was dancing. I told her, hey, what happened? Like, why were you giving me a very nasty stare that time when I was dancing? And was there a problem? And then she got scared and she's like, no, no, not at all. What do you mean? I didn't look at you like that. I never stared at you like that. And that never happened. And I said, yes, it did. I remember how you looked at me. She said, oh, it's because I got in an argument with my boyfriend. That's why. And I said, so that's why you looked at me like that? And then she stayed quiet. She was just, and I told her, that's why, because you got an argument with your boyfriend. That's why you gave me a nasty stare. I said, what did I have to do with that? And there was no response after that. And she just kept on explaining, saying that, well, it's because I had an argument with my boyfriend and, it hasn't been going good and it's really bad. And so I end up feeling bad again. And I end up feeling guilty for even bringing it up, the fact that she stared at me like that. So each time I would try to fix something, I ended up feeling guilty and responsible. So, and gaslighted. So it was a lot of gaslighting, a lot of blame shifting, a lot of victim mentality. She had a victim mentality. And the narcissistic stare was crazy. Especially just me doing my homework as well, or just, being on my phone and her just staring at me like this. Like that, but for a good time. Not just 1 minute, 3 minutes. Like that, but no emotional reaction. Just like very creepy. Very creepy. So, they want to make you jealous or something. It's a game. And then she would also ask me, "Can you do me a favor? Can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?" And I caught on to it really quickly. And I started to say, "No, I can't." And one time she retaliated against me. She put black eyeliner on my sink. She put black eyeliner on my sink, and then I said, "Did you put black eyeliner on my sink?" "No, I didn't do that. I don't know who did that." Just gaslighting. I was like, I didn't wear eyeliner that day, and my eyeliner was in my makeup box. So it was gaslighting. It's a lot of mind games. And I remember one time, I tried to do the stonewalling, the gray rock method, which is no emotion, no reaction, because I already knew she was a narcissist. And she got mad one time that she said good morning, and I didn't respond. And she got really mad, and she said something under her breath, and she looked at me like really mad. Just entitled. She was so entitled, and just, ugh, entitled, and she thought she was this, she had like this "I'm better than everyone" type of energy, type of attitude. And I felt like I was beneath her the whole time. That's how she would make me feel, by devaluing me and putting me down and pretending to be above me. So, yeah, but I think I did tell her that she was a covert narcissist as well. I told her, "Are you a covert narcissist?" And she's like, "No." And she ended up saying the same exact phrase that my friend said a while back when I was on the phone with that friend. That friend that I was talking to was saying, like, "You can't think everyone's a narcissist." And she ended up saying the same exact words because she didn't have a response. So what came out of her mouth was, "You can't say everyone's a narcissist." And in my head, I was like, I heard this phrase before. This phrase was told by my friend that I was talking on the phone. Why is she mimicking exactly what was said to me on the phone while I was talking to my friend? And she's saying the same exact words that my friend was using. And so after that, after me calling her a covert narcissist, she ghosted me, and I didn't see her for a long time. I think she was very terrified the fact that I saw beneath her mask, and she couldn't hide it from me any longer. So she ghosted me, gave me the silent treatment, and not only that, I remember this other time also, before me telling her that, um, I put the blanket over my head like that because she was staring at me. I put the blanket up. And next thing you know, I turn around, and believe it or not, she had the blanket on her head, like me, like how I had it. Like I put it like this, like that, and she did the same exact thing. And it was mimicking. So she was mirroring me, just copying me. And I was like, why is she copying me like a little baby? And it was so creepy. But this is how, okay, so this is how you know that's a narcissist. And I'm gonna give you guys the signs why I knew what I know now. The love bombing. The "I'm such a good person because my friends think I'm a good person." The gift giving. "Oh, do you want Starbucks? I could buy you something." Strings attached. Um, the constant staring at me for a long time to gain so I can look at her and give her attention. So that's also the love bombing. Then there was the withholding information, and withholding future promises that I would say, like, "Oh, can you help me?" Yeah, yeah, never. Never. There was nothing that ever came out from her. She said, "Oh, I'm gonna share with you," but never. That never happened. So it was all a bunch of future faking. The whole competing with me, chronically envious. I knew it from I knew the signs that she was really envious and showing off, and showing off, telling me, "Look at this and look at that and look how better I am of you," like certain things like this that she would do. And she would even stare at me. Oh, we have to talk about covert narcissists. They have ways of devaluing you by the way that they look at you. A covert narcissist will give you really devaluing stares, like the evil eye, making you feel bad. I don't know how, like staring you down, kind of like you're nothing. So they really are master manipulators at making you feel bad without even saying a word. It's all about the energy and their body language towards you. They'll make you feel like you're nothing just by the way that they look at you and by the way that they just disapprove of you. Um, so then there was also the devaluation after the love bombing. After the love bombing, then came the after the love bombing came the devaluation and the future faking. So after the future faking was the breadcrumbing and the crossing boundaries and the whole mirroring, stuff like that. But then after I exposed and I said, "You're a covert narcissist," she ghosted me and she moved out. Because I would just gray rock her, not give her anything after that. And she noticed that she wasn't going to be able to extract any more narcissistic supply from me. Until then, she left. But the narcissistic stare, when I told her, when I told her, "Hey, I don't appreciate this," she looked at me for a long time because she didn't have a response to say to me. And her eyes were just like blank and nothing. Nothing was there. And I looked straight into her eyes and it was just empty. And no emotions, no reaction. So, yeah, that gave me enough signs. Beware of love bombing too, and the future comes with devaluation. They do the strangest things. They do. When you are down on hard times, they'll boast about good things that are happening to them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, silent treatment. Yes, or if they get something nice, they say, "Isn't this great?" Beware, some come into your life to sabotage you. Silent treatment, the prima donna, lol. They call you a narc once you call them one. Never call a narcissist a narcissist. It definitely is hard to trust in this world. They're like vampires, they hate the light. She did the mirror effect. Never tell a narc they are a narc. LL. They will definitely deflect the same statement to you. Dr. Phil even said so. Hello, facts. Reform Stoic says hello. Bro, if I call a narc, let me see. Oh, what comments? If I call a narc out, they will wipe you. Every time I give a gift, when they give, they want something in return. Future faking. Hey. Hey. Never let someone pay for your lunch. They'll expect something in return. I think there's a problem with accusing narcissists because the moral truth is more complicated than that. There are people who fit the mold, but saying it's 100% someone else's fault is wrong. I think, okay, I'll just give you my opinion on your statement. Um, so narcissists, there's a certain pattern that they all follow. So there's a difference between like abusive relationships. They all have similar patterns, but with narcissists, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see love bombing, idealization, putting people on a pedestal, a lot of gift giving, um, a lot of mirroring as well. Like they'll mirror you back. So everything that you tell them that you like about yourself, all your vulnerabilities, they're going to just soak in all that information and they're going to say that, oh yeah, I want to have kids too. I want to get married too. Or we have so much in common. I've never met someone like you. And you're the only person that I felt this way towards. So a narcissist at the beginning, it's all sunshine and you feel like you're on a cloud. But then you start to see cracks in their mask. And slowly but surely, they withdraw all that attention, all that love that they were showing you intensely. They start to withdraw it from you. And then they criticize, they start the devaluation. Now they see you as you're all bad and every single thing about you. They're gonna just criticize and belittle and put you down for it. And then, even the good qualities that they admired about you, they're gonna think that those are bad things as well, too. But then they start to breadcrumb. So once the devaluation, they criticize you a lot. They need to create this trauma bond with the breadcrumbing. It's intermediate reinforcement, where they're gonna show you positive reinforcement every now and then, but the majority of the time it's gonna be bad, negative experiences with the narcissist. So breadcrumbing is when every once in a while they'll do something nice, they'll show you a little bit of attention to keep you hooked in the relationship. And during the devaluation, when there's arguments, when they try to trigger you, because they know your emotional triggers and they know your weaknesses, so they're going to exploit them. And they're going to get emotional reactions out of you whenever they can to extract narcissistic supply, negative narcissistic supply with your emotional response when you get mad at them. And then when you try to explain and open up to them with your emotions and tell them, hey, that really hurt me, or why did you do this or that, they're going to gaslight the person. They're going to blame shift and blame it all on them. Then they're going to use word salad, where they're going to switch the conversation and just talk about a lot of things that make no sense, that have nothing to do with the conversation, to to stir up confusion in you, in your minds, to know what's going on. Then they're going to project onto you that you're the bad one, that you're the one who started everything, and that if it wasn't for you, then they wouldn't have reacted that way. So, yeah, they'll do that to drain energy off of that person, because they're energy vampires. They'll take all the energy away during arguments. And then they'll give the silent treatment a lot of the times. Once they get a narcissistic injury, someone says something rude or attacks them because of their fragile ego. Whenever you tell a narcissist they're wrong, it's a narcissistic attack, injury to them. So what's gonna happen is they might use narcissistic rage, where they'll lash out and get really angry and blow up on you and just throw a temper tantrum but a very hostile one with a lot of anger. Or they'll give you the silent treatment, which the silent treatment is they'll cut off all forms of communication, ghost you, and ignore you as if you don't exist for a long time, even weeks, even months. For a long time, they won't talk to you, but it's all to punish you so they can exert control over you again and power again over you. So it's all manipulation. Um, yeah, once they do all that, then there's competition throughout the whole entire relationship. They always have to be winning. Everything good that you do, they feel like they lose. It's always a competition with the narcissist. You always have to be losing, they always have to be winning. And when you win, then they have to put you down. When you start to feel good, they're gonna put you down again. Um, yeah, so they'll use everything about you. They'll financially abuse you, emotionally abuse you, just break you down to your breaking point and steal your identity. I mean, in the relationship, take certain things that they like about you, but they'll put you down and criticize you about the same exact things that they are jealous or envious about you, and they'll take it and implement it into their own personality. So then in the relationship, you'll see that they'll mimic you. They'll do the same things that you do. They'll take on your personality. They'll take on your certain mannerisms, certain things that you like, certain things that you dislike. They're going to adapt um, similarities that they see in you so they can integrate into their false personality. So they can go out into the public and use what they learned from you to attain another narcissistic person in their life. Um, yeah, denial, but in denial about what you confronted them about. Or they'll do in denial by gaslighting. I never did that. That never happened. You're crazy. You need help. Something's wrong with you. Or you're too sensitive. Or when you cry, narcissists don't like when people cry in front of them. They see it as a weakness. They see emotions as a weakness, and they'll try to shut your emotions down by invalidating you or putting you down when you cry or telling you to stop crying because it's too much for them because they need the attention on them, and they feel that when you cry they have to take care of you and they don't want to, so they want you to stop crying and just focus on them. So yeah, it's really, once you experience narcissistic abuse you can spot them because they all follow the same pattern: the idealization, devaluation, breadcrumb, um, gaslighting, stonewalling, discard phase. So the discard phase, that's when they, in the relationship, they get bored. They always get bored, so they go out and find more narcissistic supply. And when they still have you as a narcissistic source, they're gonna go find a new narcissistic supply. They're gonna start ignoring you more, giving you less attention, pretending like you don't exist. They're no longer going to really use you because all they do is use you. It's all about them and their relationship. So during that discard phase, they're gonna look at you with disgust and disdain because you're no longer an object to use. They're sadistic, yes. In the discard phase, they're very sadistic. Also, the narcissistic stare, they're gonna look at you with the narcissistic stare a lot throughout the relationship. Whenever they feel like you're not giving them attention or you're doing too little. Because no matter how much you do in the relationship, it's never enough for them. They're like an empty bucket with a hole, and you just keep pouring your love, keep caring, and no matter what, it's all, doesn't even do anything to them. They're still empty. But yeah, the discard phase is really difficult for the person experiencing it. And then during that discard phase, if they end up leaving, then then they leave and they just forget about you. But if you end up discarding them, then that's narcissistic injury and they're going to be really mad. And if you ever come back into the relationship, they're going to punish you and treat you even worse than before because they're going to remember that time that you left them. And they have a fear of abandonment. They have a fear of exposure. They have a fear of being criticized in public. They have a fear of being told that they're wrong. They have certain fears. So so after that discard phase, if you were to leave them, then they're gonna launch a smear campaign. And a smear campaign is a campaign to slander and throw your name through the mud. Triangulation. That's another tactic. So triangulation is when they include another person, a third party or more people, and they use the third person to get to the person so they can try to hoover or put people against each other. But yeah, that smear campaign, they need to they need to protect their image, their facade. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna run to as many people and make that person look bad. So they look like they were the victim, like they got abused, like they were the ones who suffered tremendous abuse at the hands of the person that they abused. So, but in their mind, they really view themselves as the victim because they rewrite history. There's no such thing as reality for a narcissist. It's a delusion that they live. So they make up stories that will protect them at the end. And they'll throw people under the bus just to save themselves. And so, yeah, that smear campaign, they run to as many people, even people that you knew, even people that you thought you were close to, they're going to turn against you because they see the narcissist in a different perception than how you actually see the narcissist behind closed doors. Because narcissists, they have certain people that they abuse behind closed doors, but they don't abuse every person in public because they need their supporters. They need people. They're flying monkeys. Um, so yeah, then the smear campaign starts, and the victim is just being slandered, and the flying monkeys are even harassing the victim and getting into contact and saying like, "Why would you leave this person? Well, they're so good," and this and that. Um, so yeah. So that smear campaign, they can slander your name even in jobs, any place that they can with their lies. And to anyone, since they can't control the way that you view them any longer, they'll try to control the way other people view you. And then once they complete that smear campaign, they're gonna try to get you back by hoovering you, by trying to gain access again in your life after everything that they did. They still wanna um, have you as narcissistic supply in their life. So they're gonna hoover you by love bombing you, by giving you all this attention, all this fake love, to see if they can get you back. And if that doesn't work, then they'll switch up the manipulative tactic to devaluing and guilt tripping you and playing the victim so you can feel bad for leaving them. But triangulation also occurs during the smear campaign. The narcissist will talk to another person that maybe you have communication with. The narcissist will lie and say that they miss you, that they're worried about you, that they hope that you're doing good, and that they want to come back into your life. So that person that they tell that person to tell you, it's triangulation. That person will communicate with you and call you and tell you, the narcissist says that they miss you. The narcissist says that they really want you back in their life, and the narcissist is doing really bad without you. And so the person that left and went no contact, they still have the narcissist there present because the narcissist is using a person in the middle, the flying monkey, to get in contact with one of their former narcissistic supplies. But it's not because they actually care and because they reflected upon what they did wrong. It's because they need someone to use and take advantage of continuously. Yes, they're heavy on the guilt tripping and playing the victim. Even narcissists are very good at pretend crying, and if they feel like they're really losing control, they will apologize, but it's not going to be genuine, it's going to be false. I had a narcissist once apologize, and it was very fake. It was, oh, I'm so sorry what I did to you, but you have to understand I had it rough. You have to understand that it wasn't all my fault, that I had this going on in my life. So they always have something else to blame. But they do not like apologizing. To them, it's like, it's too much for them because they have to pretend to show emotions. The love bombing and everything, that's too much for them because that's not really who they are and they can't pretend for a long time. So that's why they drop the mask. And now they feel like they don't have to put up too much work to deceive you anymore. But yes, these are wolves in sheep's clothing, fallen angels. They appear to be an angel of light, but once you get into the deception, they're a demon. And if we talk about in the spiritual realm, they're a very high-ranking demon. Narcissists are very high-ranking demons in the spiritual realm because they brainwash a lot of other people to see them as a good person, and they control a lot of other flying monkeys in their lives. So they have all these other flying monkeys who can cause major destruction, like gang stalking, like, harassment, bullying, a lot of things. So then as an empath, even though you're educated, you still can get very emotionally harmed by them because of all the flying monkeys and because of all the slandering, and they can cause great destruction in your life. So narcissists can do severe damage in some of your relationships, but some of the positive that comes out of the smear campaign is that you realize who was really for you and who was really against you. Because then you'll figure out people are very weak-minded, they're easily manipulated, they believe anything that they're told. They don't really know you on a personal level because they switched up on you really quickly to believe the narcissist lies. So you truly find out who is really for you during that smear campaign. Yes, they're good to your face and then slander you. Oh, yes, narcissists pretend to be fake happy. Um, Certain narcissists, they create this laugh that sounds like a robot. It doesn't sound natural when they laugh or when they're pretending to be happy. They have this smile on their face, but their eyes are dead. It's like they're dead inside, but the smile is just there, but there's no life to them. Or when they laugh, like when they're watching a funny video, but they're not really happy. It's just they're pretending to be because they have to They have to let you know how I don't know. It's like all the show. It's they're really good actors. They're con artists, and so they'll laugh at certain things like on TikTok and be like ha ha ha. But sooner or later you'll understand like it's not genuine. It's just it can be even a defense mechanism or just to get your attention or to make you jealous. So there's certain reasons why they laugh, why they fake laugh. They find your replacement before you separate too. Yes, they do. Never tell them your plans. They'll surely sabotage them. Mm-hmm. They'll try to ruin them. They are carpetbags. Your ideas too. Go get them to others you know. Then you hear it come back later from the other party, and you're like, what? Facts. I can't be with these people with one foot in and one foot out. You're either with me or you're not. That's for life. Cut you off for hugs, etc. Love seems like a lot of stuff. Triangulation. Everyone reading this. Oh, he was really mad I didn't walk through the portal he opened up. Humans are complex. Yes. But a narcissist, they don't, I believe that they are not fully human for certain purposes. So as I was watching a lot of narcissistic videos, I don't know his name, but he's a doctor, he's a psychologist, but he's a narcissist himself with borderline personality disorder. So he has a comorbid personality type. So he has narcissism and BPD, but he's aware of what he has. So he was talking about that narcissists actually see life through survival mode. So they don't see love the way that we see it. They see love as narcissistic supply, as using people only for themselves. They're obsessed with themselves. They idealize themselves through their fake facade. But they see life as a game, as a chessboard, to conquer, to destroy, conquer and destroy. Some things that don't make narcissists human is that they lack empathy. They do not have the ability to have any um, emotional capacity to actually put themselves in the shoe of other people. They don't comprehend emotions like we do. So when you're crying, when you're hurt, whenever something that the narcissist did to you has you in your feelings, the narcissist is going to stare at you like they don't understand your emotions and they don't understand how their actions hurt you. And so they're going to act like, oh, like she's being dramatic or they don't know emotions. So another reason why it's because the way that they see life is like a movie to them. They rewrite the movie however they want to. They have their narcissistic supply, but they have to perform, act, behave, and think the way that they want them to. So when you go into the narcissist life, the narcissist will control every single thing about you. The way you talk, what you shouldn't say, the way you should behave. They'll tell you like you better be good or you better do this. They'll treat you like as if you're a robot and just meant to be manipulated like this. Like go over here, go do that for me like a servant. So yeah, they'll brainwash you, break down your self-esteem, but it's all meant to make themselves feel good at the end. It's one big game basically, what it seems gossip about. The person or people just guessing. Narcissists live in self-destruction versus empty vessels. Y'all don't realize y'all ignoring a chosen warrior angel, but hey, keep thinking something I'm not. How much of the population are narcissists? So in the DSM-5 it says that there's 10%, but I think it's misinformation because there's a lot more narcissists than we um than we expect there to be. There's a lot more narcissistic people, a lot of them. And it's because they will never go to therapy. They don't believe that they need therapy. They're perfect. They can do no wrong. Everyone else is a problem. They're egocentric, which means that they believe that their behavior and what they do, other people are responsible for it, not them. Other people are responsible for their life, for their mistakes. So so that's why they won't show up at a therapy office. The most people that go to therapy are the trauma survivors. An apology to you might be the most direct that you matter at all. Whoa. Hey, my sister. Hey. Flying monkeys. But I love the righteous, positive messages. Facts. LOL. My opinion. I love your spirit. Thank you. Might be good to your face and slander you behind your back. I was married to a narcissist. Narcissists are miserable and live in wicked karma. Yes. It's because they live in their trauma each day. And because of all the bad things that they've done, they live with paranoia. So oftentimes if you've ever been with a narcissist, you're gonna notice that they're nocturnal. Nocturnal. They don't sleep at night. They stay up really late at night because their minds won't let them rest because of paranoia. So imagine doing people wrong all your life and thinking that someone's gonna come after you because of how you destroyed them. I mean, their conscience is just, it's, it keeps them up. Like they say, there's no rest for the wicked. No rest for the wicked. Narcs are liars. Yes, they lie about every single thing from the beginning to the end. But you know what? They lied in the beginning, but once you start seeing them, I think towards the end, that's when you truly see the real monster that they are. When you finally wake up and you're like, whoa. When they give you the narcissistic stare as well, that's when you start to realize what you're dealing with. That narcissistic stare, the whole towards the end, I feel like those are the times when you really wake up and you soon realize what you were dealing with. They'll even financially abuse you too. Take all your money, drain your bank account. Whoa, I've gone through that. They'll try to play a sob story. I need money to pay the rent. You're like, okay, I'll give you money. And then they'll ask for more until you don't have anything. Well, who is a narcissist really? A demon? Yes. Yeah, they have a lot of dark energy, negative energy, and emptiness and coldness. Even when you're with them, you feel isolated, you feel cold. Like the energy is just, it's dark and it's cold. I don't know how to describe it, but I remember just feeling like this is really dark energy. Hello, beautiful. Hi. Some of them are over exaggerated laughs. Yes, they do. They do exaggerate their laughs. Expert consultant. Smirks. They're smirks. Yes, they're smirks when they do something really mean to you and then they smirk at you. Yeah. Some narcs have social media, but don't post any content, just a way to find new supply and spy on old supply. They are better off at playing audio clips of someone laughing. We're like living in a Truman show. Never forget that these are government projects. I love your videos. I resonate with a lot of them. Thank you, Connie. Go no contact with them. Yes, going no contact is to save your sanity. It's not to punish them. It's not to think that they're gonna come back. Because you have to continue to live on with your life. They want you to stay stuck, and once you leave them, they still have the mentality that you're still the same way from the time that they left you. They think that you're still the same exact person, and the mental image that they have of you, they still think that you're still vulnerable to be manipulated. So when you actively reject them, that's when they start to respect you. But when you love them and everything and give them the chance after chance, that's when they disrespect you. So go no contact with them, but do it just because of your sanity and your mental health and your happiness. Don't think about, oh, I'm doing this to get back at the narcissist. The narcissist doesn't work that way. They they'll just go out and find another narcissistic supply to use because they never loved. They only form attachments. They can't form a genuine human connection with anyone. And they actually never attach to you. You become trauma bonded to them. But they can detach really easily and just move on as if nothing happened. And this is what happened with me. I experienced it. Narcissist just moved on to another person as if I was nothing and as if there was never anything because they'll drop you like, okay, I'm done using you, throw you out. That's it. They are very controlling, excessively controlling, yes. Every single thing about you. My ex narc post all this love stuff on Facebook pages, then be on the dark. Narcissists crave reactions. You ignore them, they self destruct. Yes, they actually like it when you react to them because in their mind they think that you care about them when you react, either positively or negatively. And they think that they have control over your emotions. And so they get addicted to your reactions. And that's why um they keep poking at you and instigating you and triggering you to get an emotional reaction to see if they still have control over your emotions. That's why when you gray rock them and you're living with them and you devoid yourself from any emotions and you don't give them any reaction and you're indifferent to them, they they'll leave because they can't get anything out of you. They always say sorry to me and repeat the same action. They like to dress to get compliments. Yes, it's all about attention, positive, narcissistic supply. My phone's lagging on this side. So some other weird traits of behaviors of narcissists is let me try to think. They stay up really late. Oh, they constantly need stimuli like TV, music playing. They can't stand quietness. They need some type of distraction constantly. And then when they're watching movies, they're studying the characters in the movie so they can learn how human reactions are. Yes, flying monkeys are very weak-minded and they have no backbone. They're easily influenced. They just go along with whatever they're told by anyone. They don't have a sense of self. And some of the flying monkeys, they may have narcissistic tendencies and be toxic in some way. And so they love to be a part of toxicity. At the end of the day, narcissists actually sabotage themselves. Yes, definitely like the Truman. All acting. The Bible is the truth, no rest for them. That was literally the first time he asked when I figured it out. Are you going? Ooh. Oh, and they lie to you a lot. Let's say if they tell you, oh, I'm gonna go to a restaurant with a friend, they'll end up actually going out and being with someone else or cheating or doing something else. But they'll lie to you and tell you, oh, I was just working a lot, or oh, I was just busy with I went to a restaurant. Yes, everything that you have belongs to them, but nothing that is theirs belongs to you. Mm-hmm. Facts. And expecting me to pay meals all the time. Oh no. That's selfish. God's light, um, we should love those who are worthy of love. And we should love our enemies at a distance. But we should never put ourselves in harmful places or be loving to a narcissist because they'll really break us down. And what will end up happening is we'll be in the darkness with them. So we can love our enemies at a distance. But it doesn't mean that we have to reconnect with them. And speaking the truth about what really goes on, it's meant to help other people. I'm not speaking lies upon narcissists. This is all just reality of what really goes on. There's a lot of narcissistic YouTuber influencers who speak upon on this because it's an insidious type of abuse that the survivor experiences. And they need clarity, they need validation, they need someone who's empathetic who will tell them that their experience really happened, to not continue to gaslight themselves and question their reality and their sanity. So this is why this video is made. What if they have you stuck and you can't leave? You have to find a way to escape the narcissist, but without telling them. An escape plan, save up money, hide it very well, um, find a place to leave away from them. Or if you can't, just do your best to start to gray rock them if you can't during the time that you're with them. Gray rock them. Show them no emotion. Um, spend your time away from them as much as you can. The narcissist actually wanted to tell me what to do and control my finances. And when I realized something wasn't right, yes, they want to control your life, everything about you. My phone is being slow again. They can't be alone by themselves. No, they can't. Um, I've actually seen covert narcissists. They tend to isolate themselves. Covert narcissists sometimes they'll want to be alone into their own space, but because they can't handle criticism, or they can't handle rejection, or because they're really chronically envious, they don't want other people to they don't want to be around people who are happy or better than them, so they tend to isolate themselves so they can continue to create that delusion in their mind that they're better than other people. We got the flashlight and aiming at the roaches. Yes. Narcissists, they go after strong individuals too. People who have a lot of energy as well. And they'll become very desperate to attain narcissistic supply. It's It's better to live in the. Not everyone deserves your energy and love that, remember. So, yeah. I've attracted and still do attract them. I have to learn, teach them, unfortunately, for them. Yes. Mm-hmm. Love wins, warriors of love. Yes, love always wins. Covert narcissists are the ones who act nice around people. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and end this live. I hope you guys appreciated the information I had about narcissists. And you guys all have a good night. So, I mean, this is just bringing darkness into the light. So, as a light being, shedding the truth upon what is hidden in the dark and bringing it into the light. So, thank you guys for watching this live stream. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the information and absorbed the information and learned something valuable in this live stream. You all have a good night. Continue to be yourselves. Continue to stay true to who you are. And continue to share that beautiful light with the world. All right. Good night, everyone.